Yeah, right. I didn't even know it was coming. Greg told me.
I knew everything. We're all together.
Morning.
Hey, Grandpa. Sorry, sweetie. You. They look like that.
Look like that. Now you get home.
No, we were just gonna go through.
Good. Great. Good.
She remembered her from a red Cadillac. Oh yeah, she's polished.
Morning, boy.
You always go to church.
I'm here. Yeah. Yes, sir. Oh. My daughter will be here, yeah, they'll be here. I thought they- Okay.
Good morning, sir. No
Yeah. 3 weeks ago. No,
I take the line up. Usually have that.
Good morning. Welcome to this morning. Fantastic start to the year. Always. So I want to remind you that Christmas Eve, and specifically in
Okay, well,
today Jesus will say, "You are the light of the world." And you can remember that image of the light spreading from just one candle to then, 100 candles. We are the light of the world together, not alone. And so while you listen to the praise of this morning, why don't you just give thanks to those folks in your life who have shared their light with you and who have helped you to shine ever brighter. We stand and we'll sing. We're going to sing like we did last week and not how it's printed in the bulletin. So we're going to go once fully through the song We Have Seen the Lord, and then I'll speak for a minute, and then we'll do verse 1, and I'll speak for a second, and verse 2, so on, and when we do all of them, we'll sing it all over again. We have seen the We have seen the We have seen the God with us, Jesus Christ. We have seen the We have seen the We have seen the God with us, Jesus Christ. We have seen the We have seen the We have seen the Yes, Jesus Christ. We have seen fear and despair become hope. Isolation turn into relationship. Inertia move into action. And self-denigration give way to self-blessing. We have seen the We have seen the We have seen the God with us, Jesus Christ. Others have seen the Lord in us. With the Lord, we have been more for others than we could be alone. We have seen the Lord. We have seen the Lord. We have seen the Lord. God with us, Jesus Christ. We have also failed to see the Lord when the Lord was right in front of us. And we did not trust the Lord when we could not see the Lord. Others did not see the Lord in us. And yet again, the Lord has shown love to us and forgiveness and grace. We have seen the Lord. We have seen the Lord. We have seen the Lord. God with us, Jesus Christ. The Lord shows us a new way, a way through, a way to include our mistakes, the mistakes of others, a way of compassion and a way of life. We have seen the Lord. We have seen the Lord. We have seen the Lord. God with us, Jesus Christ. We have seen the Lord. We have seen the Lord. We have seen the Lord. God with us, Jesus Christ. We have seen the Lord. We have seen the Lord. We have seen the Lord. God with us, Jesus Christ. May be seated, children. All the way up here. Good morning. So, here's a funny thing. We call Jesus the light of the world. And Jesus calls us the light of the world. Yeah. Crazy? Jesus and us, all together, the light of the world. Now, what do you see right here? Candle. All of these candles are meant to be a sign for us about Jesus and his light in the world. And I wonder, these are candles too. Do you remember when we used these candles? Christmas Eve. All right, yeah, I need a little help. Well, just you two, tell me this one. How many candles are in this candle? It's just one candle, but look. Now, how many candles are there? Yeah, and that here, oh, here, right. I'll hold this. You just tip yours over. Just tip your sides. There you go. Look at that. Now how many? And now how many? All of that light, all of this light came from one candle. Now, if you remember Christmas Eve, we spread that light over the whole congregation. Remember that? That's how Jesus is the light of the world and we are the light of the world. Jesus has so much to share. And you have so much to share too. How many candles are in your one candle? One. But we just saw another candle came out of your candle. 4. And then it could be so many more. There is an infinite number of candles in your one candle. Isn't that amazing? That's who Jesus is for us. Okay? Can we let just very gently draw on your candle? Okay. Thank you. And before you go, I just want to remind you of one other kind of candle. You'll get excited to get some next time. Here's another kind of candle. Now, a baptism candle, that's right. When you were baptized, you were given a candle a lot like this. Okay, well, I hope so. I hope everyone was given a candle when they were baptized as another reminder that you are the light of the world, and we are the light of the world together. Amen? Amen. All right, let's share some peace with everybody. So just turn around, face the congregation, put your arms out like this. The peace of Christ be with you always.
Just walk, Joe. You did good with your candle up there. That was exciting.
I showed my dad. That's how I rolled out. I was like,
Stay standing. The grace of our Lord Jesus Christ, the love of God, and the communion of the Holy Spirit be with you all. Let's pray. Lord God, with endless mercy, you receive the prayers of all who call upon you. By your Spirit, show us the things we ought to do, and give us the grace and power to do them. Through Jesus Christ, our Savior and Lord. Amen.
The first reading today is from Isaiah chapter 58, 1 through 9a. Shout out, do not hold back. Lift up your voice like a trumpet. Announce to my people their rebellion, to the house of Jacob their sins. Yet day after day they seek me and delight to know my ways, as if they were a nation that practiced righteousness and did not forsake the ordinance of their God. They ask me of righteousness judgments. They delight to draw near to God. Why do we fast, but you do not see? Why humble ourselves, but you do not notice? Look, you serve your own interest on your fast day and oppress all your workers. Look, you fast only to quarrel and to fight and to strike with a wicked fist. Such fasting as you do today will not make your voice heard on high. Is such the fast that I choose, a day to humble oneself? Is it to bow down the head like a bulrush and to lie in sackcloth and ashes? Will you call this a fast, a day acceptable to the Lord? Is not this the fast that I choose, to loose the bonds of injustice, to undo the thongs of the yoke, to let the oppressed go free, and to break every yoke? Is it not to share your bread with the hungry and bring the homeless poor into your house? When you see the naked, cover them, and not to hide yourself from your own kin? Then your light shall break forth like the dawn, and your healing shall spring up quickly. Your vindicator shall go before you. The glory of the Lord shall be your rear guard. Then you shall call, and the Lord will answer. You shall cry for help, and he will say, here I am. Word of God, word of life. Thanks be to God. A reading from 1 Corinthians. When I came to you, brothers and sisters, I did not come proclaiming the mystery of God to you in lofty words or wisdom. For I decided to know nothing among you except Jesus Christ and him crucified. And I came to you in weakness and in fear and in much trembling. My speech and my proclamation were not with plausible words of wisdom, but with a demonstration of the Spirit and of power, so that your faith might rest not on human wisdom, but the power of God. Yet among the mature we do speak wisdom, though it is not a wisdom of this age or of the rulers of this age who are doomed to perish. But we speak God's wisdom, secret and hidden, which God decreed before the ages for our glory. None of the rulers of this age understood this. For if they had, they would not have crucified the Lord of glory. But as it is written, what no eye has seen, nor ear heard, nor the human heart conceived, what God has prepared for those who love him. These things God has revealed to us through the Spirit. For the Spirit searches everything, even the depths of God. For what human being knows what is truly human, except the human spirit that is within? So also no one comprehends what is truly God's, except the Spirit of God. Now we have received not the spirit of the world, but the Spirit that is from God, so that we may understand the gifts bestowed on us by God. Word of God, word of life. Thanks be to God.
The Gospel according to Matthew, the 5th chapter. Still on the mountain, still teaching his disciples, Jesus said, "You all are the salt of the earth. But if salt has lost its saltiness, how can its flavor be restored? It's good for nothing. It's thrown out and trampled underfoot. You all are the light of the world. A city built on a hill cannot be hid, and nobody lights a lamp and hides it under a bushel basket. No, they put it on a lampstand, and it gives light to all in the house. In the same way, let your light so shine before others that they see your good works and give glory to your Father in heaven. Do not think that I've come to throw away the teaching of Moses or the prophets. I haven't come to throw away, but to fulfill. Really, I'm telling you, heaven and earth will not pass away until not one letter of the law, not one jot of one letter of the law will pass away until all has been accomplished. So therefore, whoever breaks one of the least of these commandments and teaches others to do the same will be called least in the kingdom of heaven. And whoever does and teaches others to do that will be called great in the kingdom of heaven. And really, I'm telling you, unless your justice exceeds that of the scribes and Pharisees, you will never enter the kingdom of heaven. The gospel of the Lord. So this is week number 2 of the Sermon on the Mount. In the Gospel of Matthew, it stretches over a couple of chapters, and the Beatitudes was the beginning. So we were talking last week when we heard the Beatitudes about seeing the forest for the trees, right? A forest is something different than just a bunch of trees put together. It's even ecologically, biologically. A forest creates its own microclimate, a place where trees can thrive in a way they can't just on their own. And so when Jesus is teaching this time around, that same theme is present. That movement from me to we. You all are the salt of the earth. And we all know how far a single grain of salt goes. Nobody puts a single grain of salt on their French fries. You shake out, I don't know, a bunch of salt from the salt shaker. And just like we were seeing with the kids up here, right? One candle, what power does one candle have compared to 100 candles? This is a teaching about us as a community. It's about people together, and not about the power of a single individual. In fact, claims to that effect have been greatly exaggerated. And Jesus always, when it comes to anything in scriptures, Jesus always is what Jesus expects us to be. Just like we were talking with the kids. We call Jesus the light of the world. Jesus calls us the light of the world. Jesus invites us to follow by imitating Jesus, by doing what Jesus did. So there's the power for us in how Jesus shares so, and how Jesus isn't caught up with comparing whose light is better than anybody else's. Your light, we together are light. So hold on to that for a second, because I want to talk about the other part of this gospel lesson where Jesus starts talking about justice. And I want to tell you a story. When I was a kid, I was a part of a church that split apart because of a sexual abuse scandal. There was a school that was a ministry of the church, and a staff member of that school was abusing children. The pastors found out about it, and they left this staff person in their position. They did not acknowledge that any harm was done. And so when that finally came to light, oh boy, there were a lot of courageous people who let their light shine by exposing that silence and exposing the lie. You know, this is part of why Jesus calls us light. So much of what harms us and harms the world, so much of the harm that we do and is done to us is hidden, is in the dark. Light reveals it, exposes it, and shows another way, a better way. I mean, that's true in my own personal life. The older I get, the more I'm aware of the automatic things that I do. I'm not even thinking. It's just even deeper than a habit, in a way. It's outside of my awareness. And so much of growing in love, for me, has been having other people shine light on my own behaviors. So I could see, oh wow, there was a series of choices and actions that led up to that. And that all felt like just the way things are, but whoa, I have some choice in this matter. So when Jesus talks about your justice has to exceed that of the Pharisees and scribes, he's talking about the kind of religion that simply teaches children, do not lie, versus the kind of religion that teaches everyone not to lie, and then goes ahead and exposes all of the silencing and the lies that are happening at a much larger level. I mean, you didn't grow up in the church that I grew up in, but we all have heard a lot of reporting about the scandal in the Roman Catholic Church. And I'm telling you that Roman Catholic priests who abuse children, that happens at the same rate as abusers in society. Roman Catholic priests are no more likely than anyone else to be an abuser. No more likely than Lutheran pastors. The problem is not about a few bad apples. That's so often how we think about it. We talk about the problems in our world. It was a whole set of policies that created a situation where a few bad apples could do so much harm. Policies that did not acknowledge that harm was done. Policies that put the well-being of the priest ahead of the well-being of the vulnerable. Policies that put the church's reputation ahead of everything else. Policies of an institution. Here's the difference between charity and justice. Charity is always about helping individuals. It's focused on doing something that helps an individual, maybe a family, in their situation, in their need. It does not change the circumstances. It does nothing to really address the deeper root cause problems. And so in that way, it's just directed at the effects and not the root causes. When we're working to create justice, it challenges the status quo. It says there's something wrong with the circumstances, not just with these individuals. And so it exposes conflict. It doesn't create conflict, it just reveals the conflict that's already there. The light we shine is to be both charity and justice. They're like 2 feet, and you can't walk anywhere without both feet in action. And so that's part of the logic behind the work that Hope in Action does. Is that there's a reason why the neighborhood over here is decaying, and it's not because of a few bad apples in this neighborhood. It's because we as a city, as a society and other places, this is just common practice everywhere, disinvest from certain neighborhoods. We pull out public money, don't invest in public infrastructure in the way that we do in other places. And so a bathroom in a park is maybe just a small light and a small change, but it's an insistence that we invest in this neighborhood too. In this neighborhood too are people who God loves. And it doesn't solve the whole problem, but it is a little light that we hope from that light can spread other lights. And we ourselves are in many places in this world, in many larger organizations and larger institutions. And maybe it's happened already in your life, and maybe it's ahead. I don't know. That you will be faced with the choice of whether to participate in the silencing, or to participate in lying, or just spinning things just enough. There also is a time and a place to let your light shine. But that is a time and a place where your own single light is not enough. I mean, think about the Roman Catholic Church and how many different popes there were over the period of time in which abuse was happening. How many different bishops? You can change one and put another in, and it stays the same. Because it's about the whole. It's about policies. Those need to change, and it takes a big movement. A movement like we're seeing happening right now in the Roman Catholic Church, where lay people are getting together and demanding more accountability, more transparency, more honesty. So when Jesus says he's not here to throw anything out, he's here to fulfill it. Fulfill that commandment, do not lie. To teach others to do the same. And to mobilize a community of people who can support each other in exposing those lies and the silence. We have to be in it together. Any kind of whistleblowers anywhere have had a whole bunch of people around them. If even just to get them through the emotional stress and turmoil that necessarily comes. And always just remember, this light, this candle, which burns as a symbol that every time your light has gone out, there's a place you can go to be reignited. There is a one, there is a force in this universe that has come to reignite your flame and to gather you into a great community, a great cloud of witnesses, where our lights shine together, where we can be a beacon and show the alternative, another way to live. That's what you get to be a part of. That's what we get to be a part of together. Jesus says, you all are the light of the world. Amen.
Trusting for God that after us, let us pray for the church, the world, and all those in need. Holy God, it is your desire that all people might come to know you intimately. We are committed into deeper relationship with you. May your church radiate your righteousness to all whom we encounter. Hear us, O God. Your mercy is great. God of creation, you cleanse the dry ground, bringing water that sustains life. Satisfy the needs of all here, so that all living things bear witness to your virgin grace and continue to shout your praise. Hear us, O God. Your mercy is great. God of glory, during your time here on earth, you were crucified by powerful rulers who did not understand you. Grant leaders in our day wisdom and discernment, that they may recognize you in the lives of the people they serve. Hear us, O God. Your mercy is great. God of the oppressed, you raise up the lowly and comfort those in despair. We lift up to you all who are victims of exploitation, discrimination, and greed. We pray for those who are suffering in any way this day. Max, Jackie, Kevin, Liz, Dale, Gail, Nancy, Kelly, Pauline, David, Rick, Margaret, Mary, Doug, Gary, Fern, Lois, Judy, Peyton, Carolyn, Carla, Kayla, Jeremy, Jordan, Joshua. For the homebound, Erlene, Janine, Sharon. For those in care facilities, Edith, Betty, Clayton, Marion, Bob, Joan, Evelyn, Jean, Marge, Peggy. Hear us, O God. Your mercy is great. God of justice, you free us from the oppression that binds us and exhort us to serve one another. Liberate us from all fear, bigotry, and greed, and set our hearts and minds on love, equality, and justice. Hear us, O God. Your mercy is great. God of life, you reveal your saving love to us through the power of your Spirit. Bless those among us who are preparing to encounter God of all eternity, we give you thanks for the lives of the saints who have pointed us towards faithfulness in you, especially Robert Light. May we trust in your endless mercy and grace. Hear us, O God. Your mercy. Confident that you are able to accomplish more than we even dare to ask, we bring these prayers before you, believing in your saving grace revealed in Jesus Christ our Lord. Amen.
You have an announcement to share, please speak forward if you'd like. I'm going to share some really great news with you. Greg Peterson has been the maintenance manager at St. Paul for 40 years, and his daughter gave birth to his second grandson last Sunday. Callan Grayson Comer, born on 02/02/2020. It's like the only one for like a million years. So, extra special kid. 7 pounds, 14 ounces. Mom and baby are doing great. So Greg, I'm sure will be very happy to receive your prayers and your congratulations. And yeah, one more little light in the world, and Greg promises that just like all his kids and his first grandchild, Callan will be baptized here. Stay tuned.
Hello, I've got good news. So, you all know about the Hope in Action group that we're here. It's sponsored through St. Paul. We've got some activities coming up. So we're trying to bump up our fundraiser activities so that we can get our matching done to get this bathroom finished. So on March the 3rd, we will be at Culver's from 4 to 8. So if you want to come, and I'll make sure that it's March the 3rd and have it in the bulletin, but I believe it is March the 3rd. So if you want to just go eat at Culver's from 4 to 8, we'll get 20% of everything. So if you're going to go out to eat anyway, if you choose Culver's, then that will help us. April 7th, we have a really fun one. We're going to have euchre night at Green Tree Brewery. So if any of your friends like to go play euchre, it's $10 a person. They'll start giving $1 off pints as soon as the fundraiser starts, and it's friendly cards. So they'll switch partners throughout the night, so the fundraisers will, nobody's there to make money. They're there for the fundraiser. And if anybody has any talent or anything they do, if they could maybe get with me or a pastor, if they could donate something for a basket. That just increases our chances of getting more money. So Hope in Action will get half of the fees, half of the $10 fees. And there are people that go all the time just because they love it, but they're going to do it for us on April 7th. So any euchre players out there who like to drink beer, that's your night. And then we'll have, later in the year, we're going to have Pizza Hut, and we're going to have Pizza Ranch in August. So, those are some fun things that maybe we can all do together and support Hope in Action. So, thank you.
Good morning. Since Bob's funeral was yesterday, our Lydia group that meets is changed it to next Saturday. So if you'd like to join us for breakfast at Crumpets at 9 o'clock, and then come back to the church for our lesson study is after that. So everyone is welcome to come. Thank you.
St. Paul's, the Universal Christ practice groups got started this week. And even if you missed out on it, it's not too late to jump in. I now have extra books, and we'll be meeting both groups noon and 6 o'clock in what's labeled the conference room, which is beside the men's room over here, the old vicar's office. So come on out. It's a chance to read a book that is really a deep and engaging read. We'll give you lots of questions and, maybe some answers, and we're praying through the book. It's a contemplative form of prayer. So just this past week, we spent time together meditating on the phrase, "You are the light of the world." So come on out this Wednesday and for the next few Wednesdays and even into let me know if you have any questions. Well, thank you always for your generosity, for the ways that you shine the light of Christ in your lives.
She's gonna be late for the wedding. That might be a good thing. You know? I was late to mine. They didn't have marriage license. So wait till you get one. I need to go see the judge. He didn't answer that. I got it. I did. I'll take your word for it. The Lord be with you.
Lift up your hearts. Let us give thanks to the Lord our God. It's right to give thanks and praise. It is our duty and delight that we should everywhere and always offer thanks and praise to you, O God, through Jesus Christ, who is your light made manifest to all the nations. And so with the church on earth, all creation and the host of heaven, we praise your name and join their unending hymn. Holy, holy, holy are you, God of power and might. Heaven and earth are filled with your glory. Hosanna in the highest. Blessed is the one who comes in your name. Hosanna in the highest. Hosanna in the highest. You are indeed holy, almighty and merciful God. You are most holy, and great is the majesty of your glory. You so loved the world that you gave your only Son, so that everyone who trusts in him may not perish, but have eternal life. We give you thanks for his coming into the world, to fulfill for us your holy will, and to accomplish all things for our salvation. In the night in which he was betrayed, our Lord Jesus took bread. He gave thanks, broke it, and gave it to his disciples, saying, "Take and eat. This is my body broken for you. Do this for the remembrance of me." Again, after supper, he took the cup, and giving thanks, he gave it for all to drink, saying, "This cup is the new covenant in my blood, shed for you and for all people for the forgiveness of sins. Do this for the remembrance of me." Because as often as we eat of this bread and drink from this cup, we proclaim the Lord's death until he comes. Christ has died, Christ is risen, Christ will come again. Remembering therefore his salutary command, his life-giving passion and death, his glorious resurrection and ascension, and the promise of his coming again, we give thanks to you, O Lord God Almighty, not as we ought, but as we are able. We thank you mercifully to accept our praise and thanksgiving, and with your word and Holy Spirit to bless us, your servants, and these your own gifts of bread and wine, so that we and all who share in the body and blood of Christ may be filled with heavenly blessing and grace, and receiving the forgiveness of sin, may be formed to live as your holy people, and be given our inheritance with all your saints. To you, O God, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, be all honor and glory in your holy church, now and forever. Amen. 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 Lord, remember us in your kingdom and teach us to pray. Our Father in heaven, hallowed be your name. Your kingdom come, your will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us today our daily bread. Forgive us our sins, as we forgive those who sin against us. Save us from the time of trial, and deliver us from evil. For the kingdom, the power, and the glory are yours, now and forever. Amen.
Hey, Mr. Potts.
The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord's face shine on you with grace and with mercy. The Lord look upon you with favor and give you peace.
Go in peace, let your light shine. Thanks be to God.